mind, you talk a little bit about how you originally met Roger Waters and the guys and how that led into the film?
Well, I think that I made a film in Los Angeles, an animated film called Long Drawn Out Trip. And it was an animated film about everything American I could think of at that time, like the Statue of Liberty, Frank Sinatra, Mickey Mouse, Playboy magazine. You know, it was a stream of consciousness with all of these images melting and moving one into another. I think you can find it online. It's a long drawn out trip. And although I didn't know the Pink Floyd, two of the guys in that saw it, Nick Mason and Roger Waters, and it went out here on the BBC, and the next morning they rang one another and said, "Did you see that film by Scarfe last night? It's fantastic. You know, we've got to have him work with us. He's fucking mad," they said, you know. So I was I was brought into their fold because I'm fucking mad, and that was the way they saw it. And so at first, you know, I started working on one of their things, Wish You Were Here. I did some stuff for that. And I originally, when I began, I couldn't kind of get a handle on it. I didn't know quite what to do. And a lot of my work at that period was sort of surreal work, you know, various images, surreal images and so forth. A man walking towards the camera and in a sandstorm, and he gradually erodes, that sort of thing, you know, and another man tumbling through space, and he turns into a leaf and then back into a man, and it's all, I haven't any idea what it's all about now, but anyway, at the time it seemed to fit the bill. And as Roger wisely says, you know, to a certain extent you can put any image with music and the human brain will work out a reason it should be there, you know. So in other words, any image will kind of work if you put it there, that people assume there's got to be a reason. But then eventually Roger came to me and said he'd written this thing called The Wall, and he was very, you know, strong about this piece. And he said, when I've written it, I'm going to bring it to your house and play you the tapes. And which he did. He came to my house in Chelsea in London, and he played me. I was the first person probably to hear these tapes of The Wall. And it's quite difficult listening to other people's work, you know, because you know at the end of it you've got to give an apt reply. You've got to say something which is nice about it. And I found it at the end of it, because at that time it was just raw tapes. It was just Roger singing to a synthesizer, and I hadn't got the musical imagination to understand what it could become and did become. And so it was an awkward moment, really. And at the end of it, when it's all finished, there was a bit of a silence, and I said something like, "Oh, that's great. That's terrific." I did my best to find the adjectives. And he said, "You know, I've just done that." He said, "I feel as though I've just taken my pants down and shit in front of you." And I know what he meant. He felt vulnerable, you know, because this was works and months of work. And he just felt, you know, he'd exposed himself in front of me, sort of thing.